today's newspaper review. Today we'll be reviewing The Standard and The Daily Nation. I'm Faith Mutete.
And I'm Boniface Mosia.
So on The Standard, the first page, we have different headlines of stories in different pages. And the main headline is DP's aid, I got Lamada secret tapes, where it says that the Secretary of Digital Media of State House, Denis Itumbi, sensationally claims he has videos and audio evidence that group discussed elimination of Ruto, and this story can be found on page 6. Other headlines on page 1 include Ruto now wants Raila lawyers out of Western Hotel court case, where the deputy president wants court to bar lawyers James Orengo and Otinde Amolo from representing Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, citing conflict of interest, and this story can be found on page 4 of the Standard. Another headline we have, Uhuru tells of a promise Bob Collymore broke, and this pertains the memorial service that was yesterday, where President recalls how departed Safaricom CEO emotionally told him he will break his promise to stay longer at Safaricom due to ill health, and this story can be found on the page 2 and 3 of the Standard newspaper.
On the front page of the Daily Nation, we have the headline, Collymore's final hours with Uhuru, where President reveals that the last meeting with late Safaricom CEO, during which they discussed various issues, including the future of the company, Kenyatta's legacy, and Bob's wishes. And on the same page, we have a story about the assassins. The assassination of Tom Mboya. It talks about his assassination 50 years back. Then on the same we have Itumbi, Dennis Itumbi, the blogger, that he says that he has the video evidence of plot to kill Ruto. The same page we have the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha. There is that anger, rather anticipation about the new curriculum, education.
So on the second page of the Standard newspaper, we have the headline, hundreds gather to celebrate the life of Bob Collymore, and this story runs all over to page 3, and it's a story about the memorial service that took place yesterday at All Saints Cathedral for Bob Collymore. And despite the fact that memorial services are usually dark, yesterday's service was quite joyous, and we had speaker after speaker narrating how Bob Collymore prepared them for his death up to the last days of his life, including giving them a countdown of his death. And despite the sad mood that prevailed the ceremony, speakers still found a way to make Collymore's wife, widow Wambui, smile, like when Joseph recounted his wish that speakers do not go past their allocated speaking times at the funeral. And also the President of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, jokingly expressed his regret over failing to go back to collect a special present promised to him by Collymore, the whiskey enjoyed by Collymore and his tight circle of friends, now famously known as Boys Club. On page 3, we have tributes, heartfelt tributes from people who knew Bob Collymore, and we have President Uhuru saying, I am certain Bob loved Kenya, he loved it like his own country, and Bob loved his wife and children dearly. We have lost a friend, we have lost a part of our soul. Bob Collymore's wife, her tribute was reading a speech Collymore gave to a group of children in 2013 titled, A Person is a Person, No Matter How Small. We have the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair saying that Collymore was a great human and a wonderful example of all. The Deputy President William Ruto was also not left behind, as he said that Collymore behaved and interacted as though he was going to live forever. This, he said, demonstrated his courage. The Safaricom chairman, Nicholas Nganga, said Collymore always fought for people to get a fair deal, whether it was for a short-term gain like salaries and bonuses or a long-time project. From the tributes we get on page 2 and 3, this surely shows that Bob Collymore was a man that was respected by many, and he was not only, he was not only rich and wealthy, but he also had a heart for people.
On page 2 of the Daily Nation, the headline is about an institution that is the Kisumu Museum that was built around the concept of a traditional Luo homestead. The museum was built by the government with support from UNESCO and was officially opened to the public on April 7, 1980. So this institution has information on culture and heritage of Nyanza, Western Kenya, and the Rift people. On page 3 of the same, the headline is about the MP, that is the Molo MP, who was kicked out of the meeting on illicit drinks. He was attending a public baraza to discuss the increased sale and consumption of illicit alcohol. That ended in disarray yesterday when the MP, that is Kuria Kimani, turned up looking a bit confused. On the same page, we have unvetted politicians among the 4,000 people who risk being declared armed and dangerous. This is after the Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i gave a notice on those who did not show up for the vetting, which is ending today.
On page 4 of the Standard newspaper, we have the headline, Kick Out Raila Men from Western Land Case, where the Deputy President William Ruto now wants two lawyers perceived to be Raila Odinga's allies kicked out of Western Hotel land case. Ruto wants the court to bar lawyers James Orengo and Otinde Amolo from representing the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority in the case.
So on the last page of the Daily Nation, it is talking about the anger over exams in the new curriculum, where with only 3 years before the current grade 3 learners join junior secondary school, confusion still reigns on whether they will sit in national examination. This emerged during 2 different sessions attended by members of the Senate Education Committee and the National Assembly in Naivasha on Tuesday and on Wednesday.
That's all we had for today's newspaper review. For Zalendo News, I'm Faith Mutete.
And I'm Boniface Musia.